That's all you're doing. And now that you've really shown your true colors by climbing into bed with the likes of people like, oh, let's see, Donald Trump, Larry Nichols, et cetera, you have shown your hand to be what you are, Alex, a true fraudster. You're just in it for the money. I mean, your whole staging, your whole marketing, your whole presentation with your suits and you're just, you know, all of the money that you've made it on the ignorance of the audience that tunes into you every day.
All right.
And you say this.
I'm going to respond to you now. You talk for 1 minute. You understand how local affiliates and radio works. There are network ads. There are local ads. There are syndication ads. There's like 4 or 5 different types of ads depending on how you're listening. Okay? So I hear that ad you mentioned all over national radio. It's a national buy. It's on the network. And I have been offered those type of sponsors. I don't take them. When you hear it, it's my voice or one of my reporters. And I absolutely love X2. When I'm having allergies or coughing, I mean, Lung Cleanse works great for me. On third-party sites, it's got 5-star reviews by the hundreds and hundreds. So absolutely, I am proud that we open up a shop to promote freedom and fund ourselves. Then they sent founding fathers over to France and sit there at parties and beg and sell little American flags, you know, try to get money for the revolution. Most revolutionaries, you know, rob banks and stuff. And some revolutions, people have their wives whore out, and people see that as honorable. In some revolutions, I wouldn't do that. So, you know, we're not having our wives at a brothel to fund this. We're not robbing banks. We're like selling air purifiers and water purifiers that if you're not using, you're nuts, that I personally use. I'm going to skip this network break here. And you don't say where my politics are wrong. Larry Nichols is scum. Larry Nichols, if you don't know who he is, never talks about it. I know people that were in the military at the time. He was a Green Beret officer who fought communists all over Latin America and Africa and was highly decorated and was sent by the CIA to basically be embedded with the Clintons because Clinton was CIA and prepare him for the governorship. And that guy, when the Clintons started killing kids, he went public and they tried to kill him. And you know, the guy, it's like Christ is on the cross, and he's got, you know, the thief and the murderer beside him. I forget which one it is. And, you know, one of them apologizes and repents, and God felt it and said, you'll be with me in paradise tonight. And you sit there with Larry Nichols calling him a charlatan, when I happen to know that there have been times when he's supposed to be on the show, and they're there with defibrillators. That guy has been died. Okay, he didn't want us to talk about it. I am. That guy has been dying lately, and they're in there defibrillating him to get back up and fight. And you sit there and you call him a wimp when you're nothing. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know what your deal is, but I'm sick of it. You sit there and you say someone that's challenged the Clinton crime machine is a piece of filth. I'm going to ask questions. Do you, social justice warrior, do you support Hillary Rodham Clinton? Because you don't like people that don't like her.
How long are you going to support the Jewish Zionist paradigm, Alex?
Oh, my God. The total... Go ahead. Tell me about the Jews. Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
How long are you going to hide behind the 10,000-pound elephant in the room? When are you going to talk about, instead of calling people globalists, Alex, why don't you spell it out for your audience? It's Jewish Zionists. David Duke handed your ass in a can, and you did the only thing that you did was sit there and try to derail this man, as you've tried to derail me now. And as you've tried to insinuate that I just called Larry Nichols a charlatan. I called you specifically a charlatan, Mr. Jones.
No, you said bad people like Larry Nichols. Hold on. No, listen, stop right there. Stop right there. I went and interviewed Louis Farrakhan to really try to have a real interview, and he was genuine and real, even though I don't agree with some of the things he said, and so he talked 90% of the time. David Duke, we timed it out, talked almost 70% of the time and bitched and whined the whole time that I wasn't letting him talk when I was trying to bring up eugenics and how we're all being targeted by this, things like Gardasil. And he didn't want that, okay? And so he didn't want access to my audience to try to have a real discussion, or his supporters didn't. And, man, I have people tell me I'm Jewish and that I get orders from Israel and that I get Jewish money, and none of it's true. And you act like you're on some high and mighty, or the Koch brothers, or the Catholic Church. I've had all these mentally ill groups. I fund myself selling products and having a few sponsors that are mine and that I endorse. It's just crazy that there are a lot of black people that have been brainwashed and are racist and weird who hate me. I don't hate other black people because some black people are weird. There are a lot of weird white people that hate me. I mean, I'm so hated by the white supremacist people because they're so government connected and run. That's come out so many times because they want to brand the anti-globalism movement as anti-black, anti-Hispanic, anti-Jew. And that's a management tactic by the big media to make it all that. Is there a Jewish mafia that's involved in it, heavily involved, commanding many parts of it like Sumner Redstone? Absolutely. And I just come in and say globalism attacks everybody, and we should come together against it. And most Jews aren't part of the Jewish mafia, and there's all sorts of other mafias involved. This is a eugenics, scientific technocracy system at the top. It uses all these other paradigms of management. And so I'm my own person. And so I choose not to bash Protestants, Catholics, Jews, anybody. The Pope comes out and says Christ, was like ISIS and we should be ashamed of our Christian roots. Or I think he said horrified by it or whatever it was. And I'm like, that is an anti-Christian statement. This man is evil. By his own words, he is blasphemous, okay? I love Catholics. They're good people. I love the Jews I know in my life. My whole life have just been really smart, cool people. My dad has friends, One guy's a geologist, friend from college. We went on these long geology trips when I was a kid in Big Bend and Texas and Arizona, and just really smart and cool and nice and cared about, all I've ever had is Jews I knew that were nice and were actually there and intellectual, wanted to help me. Okay, then I see these evil people that happen to be Jewish up there. Those people that sold out, somebody like Alan Greenspan was like a Ron Paul in the 60s and 70s. He was writing books. He was writing white papers about the Federal Reserve and how it was private and evil and go back to gold or the New World Order. They bought him out like Anakin Skywalker, and he became Darth Vader. So, again, it's just crazy. It's like Italians. It's like, I'm not going to hire Italians because there's an Italian mafia, and, 1/10 of 1% of Italians are in a mafia. It's idiotic. I made a film I produced called Fabled Enemies about criminal elements of Israel and their involvement in 9/11 that was the most hardcore out there, and it made the Jew haters 50 times madder. I made a film, Terror Storm, that had a section on Gulf of Tonkin, but also a section on a bunch of other false flags, like the USS Liberty. It made the Jew haters just see. They said, no one else does false flags, Jews. No, there's evil Jews, there's good Jews. There's good Germans, there's bad Germans. There's good Chinese, there's bad Chinese. There's good Mexicans, there's bad Mexicans. You judge a tree by its fruits, and you guys just fall back because you're better than anybody. You can just say someone works for the Jews and sit back and be moral and be superior, like a social justice warrior, that you're just like them. That's why you called yourself that today. You didn't say, I am a person that believes in a Jewish conspiracy. You'd have been put on air. We let you guys on. We don't screen your calls. But you said you were a social justice warrior, and out of their mouths, out of the mouths of babes, you will hear truth. You're right. They're just like they show up and they scream, you're a racist, you hate Mexicans, or white guy. You hate Jews, like these little Jewish kids saying that Donald Trump hates Jews. It's the exact same thing. You can't even see it. You're not an intellectual. You're a pseudo-intellectual who lines up these things that makes you feel like you've got all the answers. I mean, you can sit there and read all these things about Jews running this and Jews running that, and then just project it onto Jews as if they weren't there, your whole world would be okay. Sumner Redstone hates the fact that I attack him for his anti-family activities and don't point out that he is a super hardcore racist Jew. But old-fashioned Judaism was just like every other group saying our group's the best, everybody else is filth. That's tribalism. But I don't dislike Sumner Redstone because he's an old Jewish guy. I dislike him because he's anti-human. See, this is the spirit of the people we face, not their cover. And you think you're looking deeper, you're not. And all these anti-Semitic people that are into all this stuff, I know they overproject that and demonize, and the Israeli lobby's out of control. I cover it all. I talk about the Chinese lobby, the Saudi Arabian lobby, the Israeli lobby being out of control. Stop trying to run our country. And they go, you piece of filth, Jones. He was covering up for the Jews today when he talked about Israel and their lobby and how it's a little out of control. No, it's all out of control, Alex. So, look, it's about you being in the winning club. You're the purist. You're the good man. So just say good night to the bad guy. Go ahead, tell me I work for the Jews. Go ahead, social justice warrior. Get yourself a gold star over at Stormfront.
Unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
You spend 10 minutes, and you don't give the caller a chance to even interject.
To spew some more false allegations? You're the ones making the allegations.
God.
You're not worried about the New World Order. You're worried I'm working for the Jews over here because I'm promoting free market and family and Second Amendment and religious rights and sovereignty. Oh, my God, I'm so bad. What is it I'm doing that's bad? Tell me what I'm doing that isn't promoting freedom. Tell me. Other than I work for the Jews. Tell me. I'm waiting.
You're not.
The truth is, I have the Jewish lobby constantly attacking me my whole career. That's the truth. But you're over here saying I work for these people, so explain it to me. Go ahead. Explain it to me right now.
You have Jewish lobbies attacking you, Alex? For goodness sakes, give me a darn break. What you're doing is trying to obfuscate and confuse your audience.
Globalist lobbies. There's lots of lobbies. What do you mean? The fact is the mainstream media attacks me, calls me anti-Semitic. Okay, I'm done talking to you. I mean, you just hear that guy. He listens to his own voice. Just give me a break, Alex.
I got to chime in here. I got to chime in here real quick.
Go ahead, John. We're bringing. And by the way, David Knight doesn't mind. He knows doing the fourth hour. Some days I take over. He loves it. Everyone's like, hey, we're returning to hear David Knight or Paul Watson. What are you doing taking over? I can do a fourth hour every day. I don't have the energy every day. These guys are smarter than I am in many respects, so we all augment each other. Just like some days I can't do the show. He does the whole show. So David is good, right, David? I don't even know if he's still in the studio in there. David, you ready to come in?
Yeah, I can't bear to listen to people like that. You know, trolls.
Oh, so you'd left the room. I'm sorry.
No, I'm here. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Well, you're awesome, but explain to folks that I'm not like meanly taking over the show. You know that, right?
That's right. And I've worked for Alex for 4 years. I know what Alex is, and I know he's not a sellout. He is totally in this. I wouldn't even be here if you weren't in the fight for liberty, Alex, and pouring everything that you get back into this operation. Not because you want to make money. When we had the attack at Sandy Hook, you were shutting down commercials, skipping commercial breaks left and right, not plugging anything that you sell, not letting any other commercials on
because I can't help
get that information out. Exactly. I've watched you for 4 years, and I don't really have any patience to listen to these David Duke Nazis. I'm from the South. I've heard the Ku Klux Klan before. They're full of it, and I don't have the time to listen to
I agree. Let's come back and talk about it. And then John, and I've never seen John Harmon want to just jump in randomly up in Minnesota, so let's hear from him. Yeah, no, I've been at the Dairy Queen when I'm 16 with a cute local girl and had guys pull in with 4 trucks and get out and go, we're going to beat your butt, Yankee, because you're with a good-looking girl, and we're in a county that my family basically founded.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of scum.
We're on the march.
I'll tell you what it is about all these weird camps, and Larry Nichols was talking about this earlier when he was on about how to defeat the globalists. We got to come together around basic sovereignty, basic free market, basic rights, due process. And he said, well, there's all these groups that want to bully you into being into their little pet project. And I mean, I'm just like, I remember it's like 13 years ago, I got a call, and then an email, and it's like, you will expose the Black Pope and that the Jesuits run everything, or we will expose you as a coadjutor or something. And I was just like, who the hell's this? I'm like, I'll never interview that person threatening me like that. And they're like, look, Alex Jones is a Jesuit. And it was some black guy named Alex Jones. They were like passing links around. They're like, respond to the fact that you're a Jesuit preacher. And I'm like, no, I'm a Protestant. And that's a black guy named Alex Jones. You people are crazy. Oh, you're not going to interview us now as we expose you as a Jesuit. And I'm just like, what on earth are you people smoking? And then they're like, what? You're not saying the Catholic Church isn't corrupt? And I'm like, no, more and more it's promoting globalism. It's being infiltrated, being taken over, all the pedophiles, the rest of it. I said, I really just want to promote freedom and try to audit the Federal Reserve and get our country back. But yeah, that isn't enough. We know you're working with them. They like glue my head on top of women and say, Alex Jones is a tranny. Here's the proof. I mean, just blasphemous, false witness stuff. But I got to be honest, you know, the Catholics run it all crowd. They don't have anything on the anti-Jew crowd. And it's just a big diversion from everything. It's a total diversion. Is there a Jewish mafia at the highest levels of the New World Order? Absolutely. Do the Rothschilds end up taking over Europe and the Napoleonic Wars they funded both sides? Absolutely. Totally true.